Hey guys, it's Alex. Today I'm going to be talking about the Millennium Trilogy by Stieg Larsson, which might be better known. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is the first book in the trilogy. I think there are technically 4 books in the series, maybe more, but Stieg Larsson only wrote the first 3. He died after submitting them to his publisher, I believe. So I'm just counting these as the only 3 required for me to read in the series. I probably would read the 4th one if I enjoyed these better, but I did not really like these, and I don't really feel the need for any more. Like, it was pretty well summed up in these 3. There was an ending, I'm done. I guess I should summarize. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is about Mikael Blomkvist. I'm butchering that, I'm sorry. And Elizabeth Salander. He is sued for slander. He's a journalist, and he is sued for slander. The very beginning of this book, for publishing a story about a corporate tycoon who's doing illegal things, and he can't prove it. So he gets sued and quits his magazine, takes a leave of absence from the magazine, and gets hired by this rich guy to investigate the murder of his great niece. So this book is about that. And Elizabeth Salander is possibly autistic. I don't remember if it was ever officially said. She has various issues stemming from her abusive childhood and other possible mental illness. She's a researcher, and she initially researched Blomkvist, and then she starts helping him research Harriet Wenger and her murder. It was 40 years old, 30 years old, something like that. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I heard so many good things about it, and it just, I don't understand the hype. The second book is The Girl Who Played with Fire. This delves a little bit deeper into Elizabeth Salander's past, her abusive father, who happens to be a Russian spy. Basically, they're researching a sex trafficking ring. Blomkvist is for his story. And then he finds out that Elizabeth Salander is connected to it, and it all ties back to her father in some very twisty way, because he's a super duper secret spy who defected, maybe. I'm not sure. It's a little bit convoluted. I also gave this 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah. The third and final book in the original trilogy is The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. This is about Elizabeth Salander's trial and her incarceration and seeing if she will get away, or not get away with, but whether or not the government believes, the good part of the government believes in the conspiracy against the evil part of the government that is covering this all up and has locked her up in various mental wards and facilities and hospitals. Yeah. I gave this 1 star out of 5. It was a struggle to get through, but I did finish the entire trilogy. I don't think I read them all at once. I think I had to take breaks because it was very, very long reads. And not just the length, but the writing itself was very long. These 3 books were just so boring and long-winded, and I don't understand what people see in them. Like, Stieg Larsson spent so much time on unnecessary details. He would just... Usually, if you're reading a book and a character goes to the store, it'll be referenced that they went to the store earlier, or they went to the store and bought groceries, they bought pizza and stuff. He will... And that's it. Stieg Larsson would describe how the person got to the store, the shopping experience, what they bought, how they paid for it, with which specific credit card, how much it all cost, how what transportation they use to get home. And then he will describe them putting it away. Not important things that they're buying. Like, Lisbeth would go out to buy groceries, just like pizza and eggs and stuff. And he would describe it down to the brands of almost everything. Like, multiple times. This was not a one-time occurrence or an occasional thing. That was how he wrote the whole book. If there was a dinner party, it would describe all the food. Like, even if nothing important happened at the dinner party, it just happened. He would describe all the food. He would describe the small talk that no one cares about. Like, everything. It's just so much unnecessary details. All of these books could be like 250 pages without actually getting rid of any important plot. Like, they all should have been so much shorter, and that would have made them 100 times easier to get through. I don't understand why he felt the need to describe everything, tell us everything. Like, at a point, I don't care. Like, sometimes being excessively detailed can be good for atmosphere, but it wasn't atmospheric. He would just have paragraphs of lists of things that they were eating or doing, or in the third one, I think it was the third one, he would describe the inner workings of I forget what it was called, that secret part of the government, the Swedish government. I'm literally looking for this. Sapo. It's that there's an umlaut over the A, and I forget how that's pronounced. I'm just going to say Sapo. But that's basically the secret police of the Swedish government. There was so much time describing how it functioned and just every detail that I did not care about. Like, this is actually really shiny. I just realized that. I'll put that down. But so much time on everything that did not need to have time spent on it. But you couldn't skip it because occasionally there would be a tidbit that was actually important. It killed me a little bit to read it all. It's just unnecessary. Like, please God, somebody edit these books and they would have been 10 times better. Like, I think I would have actually enjoyed them, at least some, without all those unnecessary details. It really reminded me of when you're a kid and half the fun of playing with your toys is setting them up to go on some big adventure. Like, the adventure part is fun, but half the fun is the setting them up and preparing for it and getting them all organized neatly. Like, that's what these books reminded me of. And it wasn't enjoyable. Like, it's not enjoyable to watch someone else do that. Like, if you're doing it yourself, fine. But watching someone else set everything up and organize all the insignificant details is just boring. A lot of the characters in these books seemed very black and white. There was no well-meaning, because I should start. A lot of these books deal with sexism and violence against women, and that is a major focus of all three of these books. I don't know about the fourth one, I haven't read that. But for these three, a lot of it's about sexism and violence against women, which is good and fine. I'm a fan of reading books like that. But these were very, very black and white. There were no, well-meaning but kind of sexist characters. They were either like evil Nazis who hated women and were going to great lengths to destroy lives for petty reasons, or they were great, well-meaning characters who always did the right thing and didn't really see gender or race or anything. And it was just, like, if a character said something mildly sexist at the beginning of the book, that was a pretty good indicator that they were going to turn out to be evil. Like, just straight evil. Like, homophobic, sexist, hating women, like, going on rants about how any woman who got a promotion was just doing it because she slept her way to the top. Like, there was nothing subtle about it. It was either good non-sexist people or horribly evil sexist people. and there was no middle ground. Like, there could have been a lot more middle ground. Like, it felt as though he understood that sexism exists and that it's something women struggle with on a regular basis, and that violence against women and sexism in the workplace are real. But he missed a lot of the nuances, if that makes sense. Like, he missed all the subtleties of sexism. Like, it's not just men who hate women and stalk them and are terrible individuals in general. Like, those are not the only sexists. And it would have been nice if there had been, some decent guys who were also kind of sexist, and maybe they realized that and worked on their problems, or maybe they were just seen in a slightly negative light sometimes. Like, you can be a not evil person and also be slightly sexist, and I think he missed that. There was one cop, like, and at first he just said a few casually sexist things, and then he turned into just a straight up woman hater, and was like destroying lives and careers and going to the press illegally and telling them all kinds of lies about all these different women. And it was just like, what? There was no reason for him to do any of that. It made no sense other than the fact that he was sexist, so clearly he must be all around evil. And it was so annoying to read. The government conspiracy was a little bit much for me. That might just be my personal taste, but when a conspiracy goes all the way up to the Prime Minister, I believe it was the Prime Minister. I don't remember the Swedish government structure. Not Swedish, clearly, since I say Mikael Blomkvist, which is still very, very wrong. I'm sorry if you're Swedish or know how to pronounce that name. I deeply apologize for butchering it. But the third book especially was very big on the government conspiracy and very big on the Swedish secret police, which was called the SAPO, and how that functioned, how the government conspiracy happened, and all the little details. And it felt like, the 6th season of a cop show when they finally realized that the governor is evil and they have to take him down, or the senator, or whoever. And he's like sending people to prison casually and locking up children, and it was just too much for me. Heavy, heavy trigger warnings for violence against women, rape, stalking. I don't remember if there's anything else. There was a lot of graphic rape in these books. So, like, especially the first one. This is the first one. There was so much rape in this book. There was so much rape in all of them, and it was so awful and graphic and hard for me to get through. If you don't like that, avoid these books like the plague. That's my thoughts on them. They weren't good. I wouldn't recommend them to anyone. My friend was gonna read them, and she's welcome to borrow mine or keep mine. I don't care. It was like a punishment getting through all 3. I did not like these. I don't understand why they got so popular, how they got so popular, who is reading them and rating them good. Like, why do you like them? Like, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck or anything. Like, genuinely, if you like these books, if you've read them and you like them, please tell me why in the comments. I would really like to understand, because there were very few redeeming qualities in my mind. So yes, please tell me what you thought of these books, or if you agreed with me, because I don't really know what people thought of them. I just know that they were kind of super popular, and I don't understand how that happened or why. Don't recommend. I don't know. I like crime novels. I like thrillers. I did not like these. These were a struggle. Reading them was a struggle. Maybe try the first one. It was the best one, I thought, and I still did not like that at all. But yes, let me know in the comments what you thought of these books. I'd really, really like to know. Bye, guys.